What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Hope Views, and today we're going to be doing another Firearms Friday where we're going to be talking about what is the better weapon for close quarter situations, a short barreled shotgun or a short barreled rifle. SBS versus SBR. Let's go. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't so far. We like to do Firearms Fridays as often as we can. We also like to talk about movies, TV shows, trailer reactions. We do a whole bunch of different things here on the channel. And today we are looking at the 300 Blackout again, and we're putting it up against a short barreled shotgun. And this is going to be considered an SBR for the purposes of today's video. We know this is not actually an SBR, it's a pistol build. This is a brace on the back, but it is chambered in 300 Blackout, which is considered to be a rifle style caliber. So we're going to look at it and decide which one is better for a close quarter situation. We're talking about 50 yards or less in an urban style environment. Which one would you want to have? So again, all these weapons are empty. There's nothing in the chamber here. We do have rounds on the side, but empty chamber, empty tube. It's empty. Looking at each weapon, we're gonna go just different categories, talking about each one and which one would you prefer, kind of keeping track, like right about here on the screen, which one does better in which situation. So talking about using it like in a home and around a home, I think both of them win. You give a point to both because both are very, very short. I do feel like making this shorter and the laser, see it glowing, using that laser kind of makes this one maybe a little bit more comfortable to use in tight situations where you're really pinned up and you can't aim. But I do feel like they're pretty much equal when it comes to maneuverability. Both can kind of be really compact, tight, and move around from place to place and get off rounds and probably get those rounds on target. Talking about the weapons itself though, the biggest difference is going to come to me, magazine capacity. So this one is chambered in 300 Blackout and it's going to have a 30 round magazine, and that's standard for what you're using. This is a Mossberg Shockwave and it is chambered in 12 gauge and it only has 5 rounds in the tube. Now I do know that you can use Aguila mini shells and you could get, I think, up to 8 or 9 in this thing. But I am not one to use these little tricks and things like that to kind of maximize the capacity of a weapon. I do feel like, and have always felt like, if you add anything to a weapon, it's just more that could potentially go wrong with the weapon. So even the Alumahide finish that I did, I had to do a whole bunch of messing with it to kind of make the gun run smoother. There's places where the finish is not even on the gun anymore, but the action does move very smoothly. Everything ejects, everything comes apart fine to clean and maintain it. But there was a lot of stuff done to this which could, overall mess with the reliability. And I wouldn't want to fool with the reliability anymore by trying miniature shells and having the whole system run based on a little plastic clip that can fall out, due to some heavy recoil. So no mini shells in this one, 5 round capacity. And I think if we're talking firepower that you're bringing to a fight and you have to defend your neighborhood or something crazy like that, I think that the 300 Blackout with the 30 round mag, or any pistol build with a 30 round magazine, is more firepower and just probably a better neighborhood defense type of weapon, like defending a very small area. I think that this one would win. So point for this one in terms of firepower. This one is going to be lacking in terms of firepower. Equipped the way they are, I think use at night, like patrol style weaponry, I think both of these are actually very, very good. This one I have fitted out with a single point, like some type of spring or Velcro type system where I hook in a single point here and it just dangles from the neck. So if I had to keep it on me, it could just dangle and I'm fine with a single point. I can move around pretty well with it and then pull it up. If you need that flashlight to work, you can click it on, just moving your thumb like that. I do think the 300 Blackout is fitted better for maneuvering the flashlight, but just talking about being a patrol weapon, I feel like the sling system I have attached, the shortness of the weapon, the fact that we have a flashlight that we could use it in any condition, and we have a glow-in-the-dark bead sight on it. I just feel like this one is equal to this one in terms of you got your optic, you got your flashlight on the top. I think they're dead even. Both can be used at night. This one actually has a sling mount here and also a QD mount in the back. The way my boy had it set up, he have a 2-point sling system. He likes 2-point slings. So he'll have an attachment up front, some loops and stuff around the back. I'm gonna have to get him to fix that back because I don't know how to do that. I don't mess with that. I use 1-point systems. But it's really cool that both of these can be slung and mounted and dangling from your body, and you know they're able to be brought up very simply. So I think they are dead even in terms of being patrol style weapons. So nighttime patrolling, flashlight, slings, they're both good to go. When it comes to the versatility though, I have to give the edge to the 300 Blackout. Why is that? Why would you give the edge? Because this is a shotgun, yes, but you can shoot slugs from it. But I don't think that I would trust anything more than 35 to 40 yards, even with a slug out of this gun. I don't know how it hits. I do know how this hits. This is dead on accurate. And even though it's one round at a time, it's dead on accurate. This, you can shoot a singular projectile at a great distance, but it just doesn't feel as useful, and I would not trust it as much as I trust something that's built like a rifle. So definitely got to give the point for this weapon when it comes to versatility, because with the shortness of the stock, with the holographic optic, and with the magnifier, it's very simple to use that 300 Blackout in very, very close quarters. And then if, let's say there's something coming off in the distance, or you want to use it to hunt something, you're in survival mode, you can hit anything at a good distance with this gun. This gun might take down something bigger, but I do feel like you would have to be much, much closer. Even with the slug, I just don't feel like it's gonna be accurate out past 75 yards, and that's for like an expert. And I rarely shoot slugs, so I don't think that I consider myself to be an expert. I would not give the point to this one. When it comes to short range, long range versatility, this one has to have that. Now, in terms of stopping power, I would probably give it to this because I'm thinking about, again, close quarters, let's defend this neighborhood. You guys watching that side, I'm watching this side of the street, and we're just making sure that we're safe through the night because there's no law enforcement type situation, like we have to rely on ourselves. In a tight spot, this is the best stopper, I feel like. I've always felt like that because with minimal training, like not a person that has a ton of trigger time, the spread of buckshot at certain distances can negate a person's skill. So if we, let's say 25 feet away and I take a shot with buckshot, my pattern is gonna be bigger than the pinpoint accuracy of an AR-15 style rifle or 300 Blackout chambered short barrel rifle. Like all those things are gonna be one little dot hitting you. Whereas if we're at a moderate distance, again, like 30 feet, 25 feet, 40 feet, this is gonna throw out a small cloud, you know what I'm saying? Like something about 8 to 10, maybe 15 inches of lead, and it's gonna hit the target. Even if I'm not the most accurate person, I might be trying to hit them center mass and I aim too low, I'm still gonna hit them somewhere in the center with this. Whereas if I'm using this and I'm just a few inches off, I can go right over a target's shoulder, I can go under a target's arm, I can shoot between a person's legs and miss them. Whereas with buckshot, if I'm aiming at your legs, I'm probably gonna hit your legs if I'm at the right distance. There's a lot of ifs and a lot of caveats that go along with using a shotgun and thinking that that spread is gonna negate your mistakes. But I do believe that spread can negate some of your mistakes. So that's what makes me so comfortable with that gun. And also those pellets, multiple pellets hitting a person is probably going to be just as reliable, if not more reliable, to stop that person or deter that person as a few rounds from this thing. When talking about firepower, the thing that makes me hesitate on the AR style platform, 223, 5.56, or any of the rounds that come out of these style guns is the bullet velocity that people continuously talk about when talking about the effectiveness of a 5.56 or a 223 round. Like, it was designed for a 20-inch barrel back in the 60s. Like, we all know the stories of how this stuff was developed. And I just can't help but think that out of a 10-inch barrel, if it's a 223, it's not going to do what I need to at any and every situation. I do feel like within the moderate distance, that shotgun is going to do what I need it to do. I feel like this one may not. Like, this one may go right through and leave a little small hole through somebody because maybe it's just not moving at the right speed to tumble and explode like some of the stories that I've heard from military people over the years. So that barrel length to me takes away some of your stopping power out of all rounds, based in the AR style platform, that 223, that 5.56, that 300 blackout. They're going to be moving not as fast, whereas this buckshot coming out of here will probably, again, within distance, you will put enough pellets on target to make them hesitate. And I truly believe that this will be effective, again, 30, 40, 50 feet. When it comes to the yardage, I would say maybe 35, 40, 50 yards is pushing it with buckshot. Probably not. But maybe a slug at 50 yards, you might be able to put it on target, and slug at that distance will definitely deter any type of person coming towards you. So that's what makes me lean this one when it comes to stopping power, especially if we in a real tight house-to-house type, neighborhood type situation. Reloading. Operation. Reloading and operation. You're probably going to give a point to this one as well. I didn't think about that category before coming in, but now that I'm shooting the video, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, the average person will function much better with this. Even my wife, when we talk about, we watch movies and stuff together, and we see people using shotguns in movies. The specific instance that I'm thinking of is Split. I think towards the end of Split, I forget the girl's name, but the girl who escaped at the end of Split, she got a shotgun out of a locker, and like, she shot one time and she pumped it, and then she shot another time and she pumped it. And my wife said, like, a shotgun is like one round at a time and you got to load another one. I was like, nah, that's not exactly how it works. It's like, that's a hunting looking style shotgun. So he probably still has the wooden dowel in it. So he probably can only put 2 rounds in at a time, and then you got to pump it and put another one in. And she was like, oh, it's a lot. I was like, yeah, it's kind of a lot. And that's what I think one of the major knockdowns and drawbacks of this gun is when it comes to just giving it to somebody. A lot of people online say things like, oh yeah, just buy a shotgun, that's all you need. It's like, yeah, if you have to just shoot at somebody, like, yeah, it'll probably hit them and probably stop them in the right distances, home defense type distances, close quarters type distances. But if you shoot more than like 3 times and you have to reload this thing, then it's gonna get kind of hairy, because with this gun, it can be finicky if you're not like actually pumping it hard. Like, you can short shove this thing and now you have problems when it comes to ejecting and feeding. It's 5 rounds, and people don't realize how fast in a stressful situation you can go through 5 shots, and then you pump this thing and it's like you go through 5 rounds, and then it's like, oh, I don't have anything in here. And then now it's time to start fumbling around with these big clumsy shells. If you have a side saddle, you may have a Velcro one. What if that thing rips off? I have a Velcro one on my 500. It's like, that could rip off during a confrontation. And then what? 5 rounds and this is down. Like, becomes a baseball bat, basically, essentially. So that's a huge disadvantage. The reloading, the constantly keeping this thing topped off. If you've seen any of the videos with firearms instructors online, I think of Clint at Thunder Ranch. Like, reloading the shotgun is the most important part of fighting with one. Keeping it topped off, continuously having the gun fed. That is not a concern when you have one of these. When you have one of these, it's as simple as popping this out, pulling one out your back pocket, got 30 more rounds. Like, it's that easy. So when it comes to reloading and operation, I think this one trumps that one, as well as the firing of it. recoil out of a 12 gauge that small, like it's gonna have a thump to it. But when you have recoil out of this, it'll have a moderate kick because it's a shorter gas system, but it's still nothing compared to 12 gauge, and I can guarantee you that. So yeah, operation probably wins. You're looking for just something to have in a very tight space. Pistol build is probably the better one to go with over a Mossberg Shockwave or a TAC 14 or any of the short shotguns that you can get and put a brace on, and they call it a firearm. So yeah, this one wins. I think this one definitely wins. I came into this without doing the tally myself, but just thinking about it now, like it's pretty clear that this one would win over anything else when it comes to the range that you could hit. Even though it's probably optimal within 100 yards, this is probably still good out past that if you can manage a headshot or something like that on an animal or a bad guy. Although if a bad guy's that far away, you probably shouldn't be shooting at him. Anyway, I don't know why I gave the shotgun like a fair shake. I don't think it really can stand up to an AR style rifle, or even if you have an AK style shorty like this, like a Krinkhoff or a Draco, whatever they call them now, the short 7-inch, 10-inch barrel AKs, like they are equivalent to this. If you can get a light on it, it'll function just as well and serve the same purpose as one of these. So I'm an AK guy, so that's why I had to throw that in there. Anyway, that is it for this video. I look forward to seeing this one and shooting come back on our channel, because we're gonna take these out and get them zeroed. We're gonna take out the shotguns and get them patterned as soon as we can. So stick around the channel and catch more shooting and more Firearms Friday. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, come back and check out more videos.